But luckily, there's also phase 3, which is the last and final phase, and we call it, where is happy hour? So you can basically see me here wearing a dress and a wig and a mustache, fully immersed in the American culture. Now, what eventually made me adjust was understanding what we call the American phrase book. And I'll give you an example. For example, when an American used to ask me, how are you? How are you doing? I used to give like these long answers of what I was doing today and my plans for tomorrow because they were asking how was I doing. It took me time to understand that this is not a question. This is just hello. Now, question for you. When an American says, let's have lunch sometime, what's the meaning of that? What's the meaning of that? What? Yeah, it's like I'm just being polite, you know? Don't take your calendar out. You're not going to have lunch with that person. When an American says, I'll have to think about it, what's the meaning of that? No. Yeah, I thought about it. The answer is no. Right? When a professor tells you, you might want to consider doing X, what does the professor mean? I absolutely expect you to do X. When the same professor tells you you would want to do X, what's the difference? Where's the domestic students? It means do X now. When a professor returns a paper and says, that's an interesting paper, is it a good thing? It's a bad thing, right? I have nothing good to say about it. I thought it's a compliment at the beginning. I was getting like this interesting paper. I said, yes, Mom, I got an interesting paper. When a friend tells you, sounds great, you know, 3 exclamation mark, lots of passion, enthusiasm, what's the meaning of that? Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. You know, everything, you should downgrade everything in the US, but at least like two levels. So if someone tells you it's not bad, what's the meaning of that? It is bad, right. And that's a great idea, but that's all but a great idea. So once I was able to understand the way Americans talk, the way that they behave, the way of this culture to exist, are they really fake and insincere and hypocritical and everything? Eventually, I realized that everything is just cultural. It was the way that my culture, which is very direct, perceived the American culture, which is less direct. Now, in your culture, the word fake can be different, because we all come from different countries and different words. But just remember, it is just the way you will perceive the American culture. We asked the international students how long until culture shock is over, and 26% said it was less than 1 month, 24% between 1 and 2 months, the majority, 27% between 3 and 4 months, and then we have 11% and 12%, 5 to 6, and more than 6 months. If you take a closer look at this slide, you can see that culture shock would last, on average, 1 semester, from now till April. So to sum up the culture shock part, say that the y-axis is your mood and the x-axis is time. International students are now here. You know, yesterday you went to the lighthouse, you were like eating well, then you played bowling and going drinking. We feed you, everything is nice, you like your peer advisors, right? But very soon, usually it happens when school's going to start, when the workload is going to be a bit more intense. Bam. And then going to be phase 2, but luckily afterwards, you're going to get adjusted back to phase 3, and that will take, again, on average, by the end of the semester. A few tips of getting adjusted. The most important tip is to be patient. You're all here for a reason. You're all smart. You're all talented. You all faced difficult situations in your life before, I'm sure. The one thing you may not have is patience. And that's key here in getting adjusted, getting through culture shock. The second one is remember your personal goals. You all came here for a reason. You wanted this MBA. You know what it's going to give you back, in the future. So just remember your goals. Remember why you came here. That really helped me. See the adventure in it. When I kind of like on my Bay days, I kind of like imagine that I'm like this Robinson Crusoe touring through this island and understanding the natives, you know? It really helped me. Use your sense of humor. That's also key here. Deal with stress as it arises. Don't let stress accumulate. That's true for every period of time in life. You have the gym right here, and it works wonders. And lastly, ask for help if you need it. The peer advisors are here. The Student Academic Affairs is here. Chazen Institute is here. OSL, Office of Student Life. Everyone is here to help you. So just don't hesitate to ask for help.